Moshe Blue. I'm a rabbi in Torah V'Aretz Institute. We have met a few times. We talked about Shemitah a few times, different issues. And today I want to talk about Tachlis, what happens, what is happening with Heiter Mechirah and with Otzar Beit. Heiter Mechirah and Otzar Beit are the two possibilities that Jewish farmers would keep Shemitah and that we will buy from Jewish farmers in Israel, and not the third option, which is Yevul Nochi, buying from Arabs and from Goyim. And I want to talk, how is it done? What are the changes during the year? To give you a bit of information, like inside information that most people, I think, do not know. Just to start, just to make things clear that we all know what we're talking about. Heter Mechirah is a heter started 140 years ago, that a Jewish farmer can sell his land to a non-Jew through the Rabbanut Harashit L'Israel. After he sold it, he can do most of the things, and we will discuss exactly, but mainly most of the things he can do as usual. A few other things he needs a non-Jew to do, a few of the melachot, and that's the Heter Mechirah. Otzar Beit is a way that a farmer works as an agent of Beit Din, Shaliach Beit Din, and Beit Din tells him what to do and what not to do, and then he collects, he picks, and he distributes it to the people, and the people pay only the expenses of the Beit Din, and that's what's called Otzar Beit Din. And the Otzar Beit Din has Kedushat Shvi, while the Heter Mechirah doesn't have. Let's start about Heter Mechirah. Let's see. Wait, the chat is connected to me. No, okay. Let's see if I can share the screen. Just a minute. Okay, Heter Mechirah and Otzar Beit Din. Just I need to make sure you see it. Marcel Goodman, can you see?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Okay, Heter Mechirah and Otzar Beit Din, data from the field. Let's start with how was it done? How was Heter Mechirah done? So the Rabbanut Harashit took a company called Milgam, and Milgam were the agents of the Rabbanut Harashit L'Israel. They had a rabbi and 15 workers, starting around this time or Pesach time last year, connecting all the farmers in Medinat Israel. All the Jewish farmers, we're talking about 10,000 farmers. About. It can be individual farmers, it can be kibbutzim, it can be moshavim, it can be all kinds of people and organizations. And each farmer was got an email, a phone call from the Rabbanut Harashit L'Israel, telling him, guy, farmer, next year is Shemitah. We have to prepare. Let's meet and talk. What are your options next year as a Jewish farmer in Israel? It's Shemitah. You have basically 4 options what to do during Shemitah. Now the Rabbanut, let's see if I have it, as well, they gave out people, if you can see me here. So the Rabbanut put this page out. Shnat HaShemitah Kvar Kan, telling the people basically what are the options. And they came to the farmer and said, listen, you have a few options. The first option is Heter Mechirah. We'll discuss it a bit more in a minute. That's the first option. Second option is Otzar Beit Din. To work with a Beit Din, the Beit Din will tell you what to do and what not to do, and you will sell it or give it out to sell it through them. Third option is if it's relevant, especially in vegetables, to go to what's called matzah menutak, detached platform, or nurseries, to prepare a greenhouse, a net house, which is with a plastic sheet on the bottom and covered from the top, in a similar way to a regular net house, but you need another layer, but in a similar way. And then to grow in a special way of detached platform that it's allowed to grow in such a way during Shemitah. This way method started in Gush Katif 35 years ago to grow insect-free lettuce for Pesach and Shemitah. That's how it started. And then in Gush Katif, it became bigger and bigger. And today it's not so common. There are not so many vegetables grown matzah menutak, but there are a bit. So that's the third option. Heter Mechirah, Otzar Beit, matzah menutak, and the fourth one is Shemitah. Not to do anything. To leave your land, not to plant the vegetables if you have, not to plant grains, and keep Shemitah, meaning don't touch the ground. If you have trees, so you can cut the trees in a way that no produce will come out, at least in some of the trees, and then you will have very, very minimal work of just maybe giving water to the trees and keeping Shemitah. Those are the four options. Now, I won't ask you to do other, but what do you think is the biggest option among most people? Of course, the option of Heter Mechirah is the main option. So we see here, it's all from the website of the Rabbanut, Hashbata, leaving the land to rest, Otzar Beitin. Zri'ah Mukdemet is a way of Otzar Beitin, planting before or sowing before Shemitah. It's relevant for grains that you usually sow at the beginning of the winter, around Cheshvan time, after the Chagim, October, and there is a possibility to sow these seeds before Rosh Hashanah, but that's dangerous because if it will rain a lot at the beginning of the year around the Chagim time and then a long time with no rain, all these seeds can go to the garbage. So it's a very complicated issue, but it is a way to do early sowing and then sell it to Otzar Beitin, Matzah Menutak detached platform, and Heter Mechirah. Let's talk about Heter Mechirah. How many farmers signed Heter Mechirah? So I talked to one of the people from Milgam that did it. They told me as of a month ago, 7,200 farmers sold their land through the Rabbanut Harashit, through the official big Heter Mechirah. Maybe a few more did something smaller. So most, 80-90% of the farmers in Israel, they chose Heter Mechirah. A few hundreds of farmers chose the two options, either Otzar Beitin and either Otzar Beitin, or not to do anything in the land, to let it rest, or to go into Matzah Menutak. But most of them did Heter Mechirah. And we have here two pictures. On the right is gardens in buildings, and the left is me planting I think olive tree, I think. Yes, I think. Olive tree in Mazor, a place next to Petach Tikva. And this is to explain to you that Heter Mechirah is for farmers. It's not for people in their gardens. The Rabbanut would not sell if you're lazy, you don't want to keep Shemitah in your garden, say, okay, let's sell it to a non-Jew, then we can do as every year. It's okay. If it's good for the farmer, why not for me? The answer is, it's a heter. We want to keep Shemitah if we can. The farmers, it's very difficult for them. It's their parnasa. Otzar Beitin is not so easy. It's complicated. So we allow the farmers to do Heter Mechirah, but it's not ideal. So in areas and in places we don't need the Heter Mechirah, we will try not to use it. Even the people that are pro Heter Mechirah. Again, many people, I don't know the public here, but I assume there are a few at least that don't eat Heter Mechirah. Okay, but even the rabbis that do allow Heter Mechirah, they won't allow you to sell your garden because you're lazy and it's a bit complicated for you. No, keep Shemitah in your garden. For the farmers, it's difficult. It's panosa. It's, they don't have another practical option. Good enough. Okay, we allow it. Many people asked me, how do I know? Some people buy like direct marketing. In the corona, it started more that people order to their house. A farmer comes once a week and he sells it to them. Or they know they got fruits and vegetables or things from not through a kosher store, but they know who the farmer is. How do they know if there was Heter Mechirah or not, and about Turot and Maasrot? So the answer is this. On the website of the Rabbanut Harashit Israel, you can look for the farmer. You just write the name of the farmer or the meshek if you know where it is, and you just write, and you find the names, all the 7,200, or I guess a bit more. And here, let's say I did Chishtil. Chishtil is a very known nursery. There are a few. And you see Chishtil Afula, Chishtil Nechalim, Chishtil Yedidia, Chishtil Ashkelon. They all sold the Heter Mechirah. And you can even see on the left, you can even download the certificate the Rabbanut gave them that they did Heter Mechirah, and they can sell their produce as kosher in stores that kasher stores, not mehadrin, that approve Heter Mechirah. The Rabbanut even divides between flowers, fruits, and vegetables. Let's say this is Ariel Porat, and he sells in Ber Ganim. I do their tours. It's next to our institute, and he allows us to bring people to see. It's very, very interesting. He has their flowers and vegetables. So the Rabbanut has flowers, vegetables, and fruit in 3 different categories. This nursery has a Heter Mechirah, but it has another hechsher from Rav Efrati, a mehadrin hechsher for matzah menutak, detached platform. So it has Heter Mechirah and the matzah menutak, so the mehadrin consumers can buy from there, or if other mehadrin somehow he has vegetables and they can buy, and they can grow it in a different detached platform, and that's a nursery that is approved also matzah menutak. This is what the farmer signed on. Ani achatum ata, me, the farmer, I sold on Heter Mechirah, on the shtar that we will see in a minute. But this tells us something else. The farmer here takes upon himself that he will tell the Rabbanut 2 weeks before he's planting or pruning or picking, harvesting during Shemitah. Why is this? Why does the Rabbanut want to know that if somebody did Heter Mechirah, that he's now going to plant his cucumbers? He did Heter Mechirah. If the land is owned by a non-Jew, so there's no Shemitah. Why do we need to do this? Somebody has an answer? Okay.
A malacha d'oraita.
Okay, very good. So as it says here, the Rabbanut allows the farmers to do only melachot de Rabbanan. Melachot de Rabbanan. Fertilizing, giving water, cutting, etc. But the 4 melachot de oraita, sowing, planting, zmira, pruning, and harvesting, is allowed only by a non-Jew and not by Jews. Because that's how the Heter works, according to most poskim, not all. Rav Ovadia Yosef was maker that even a Jew can do it. Rav Mohaliver 140 years ago, he thought even a Jew can do the melachot deoraita. but the vast majority of poskim that approve Heter Mechirah, they say no, lechatchila, a non-Jew should do these melachot, and that's why the Rabbanut wants to know 14 days before, so they can send their mashgiach to the farmer in order to make sure that the non-Jews, the workers, do it, and not the Jewish farmer. It doesn't mean the mashgiach goes to every farmer, because we have 10 mashgiachim and 7,000 farmers. But it means they know. I talked to mashgiachim. They said they call the farmers before. They make sure they remember this, and from time to time they go to the fields and make sure that the farmers do it. I have to say, it's a sad story to say, but it's not such a big issue, because even in a regular year, the people that do these melachot are usually the workers from Thailand or from China, or sometimes Arab workers or Bedouins. It's sad to say, but even the Jewish farmers, most of the workers are non-Jews that are working in his farm as his workers. So most cases it's done in a regular year by a non-Jew, but not all. You have kibbutzim, you have moshavim, you have places that the Jew, the Beit is doing it. You have it's not always. So that's what the Rabbanut does in order to make sure that the melachot deoraita are done by a non-Jew.
Question?
Yes.
So what is the actual logic of this? Because if a Jew is planting on a field that happens to be in Israel, but is not owned by a Jew, how different is that than if a Jew is planting a field in the Ukraine?
No. Just a minute. There is a big machloket about a land of a non-Jew. If the land is owned by a non-Jew, let's say a land of an Arab, can the Jew plant in a non-Jewish land? That's a big machloket b'poskim. Most rabbis say no. There's no. Most rabbis say Shemitah still applies there. Shemitah still applies there, but there's a machloket about it. Some people say a Jew can plant. Some people say a Jew cannot plant. So if we're talking about melachot derabanan, so we're more make it. It's only derabanan. But if we're talking about melachot deoraita, we try to be machmir on it, because the whole heter is not so easy, and is somehow problematic. So to add on it another poskim that say that the Jew can plant, it's better to be machmir, and that the Jew cannot plant. A Jew to plant in Chutz La'aretz is mutar. Shemitah doesn't apply at all in Chutz La'aretz. There's no issue. So there is no connection. A Jew can plant in Chutz La'aretz and Shemitah, and planting in a land of an Arab in Israel is problematic. I hope I answered you, Harold.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
This is what the farmers got almost a year ago, telling them what they want to do, and telling them that if they won't work the land, they will get some money. And we'll get to it in a minute.
Rav Bloom?
Yes.
Could you define Eretz Israel for us in terms of the
Very
Gevul?
good question. We'll get to, you know what, if we're already talking, where did I have it? What is Eretz Israel? If you already asked, a very big question, because we say when you say Eretz Israel and when you say Medinat Israel, it's not exactly the same thing. Even when you say Eretz Israel, the Mishnah in Shvi'it tells us there are 3 different Eretz Israel for Shemitah. 3 different borders. The smallest border is all of the Shemitah laws apply. The wider borders, some apply, some don't. And the widest border, Shemitah laws do not apply at all, even though it's Eretz Israel. Again, Eretz Israel, the Mishnah says for Shemitah, there are 3 different borders, all Eretz Israel, but Shemitah laws do not apply in all of them. What generally is a general custom by the poskim is to say that Olei Bavel, the second temple, the Olim from Bavel with Israel, the second temple, what they conquered is Olei Bavel, and Shemitah laws apply 100%. The wider border of Olei Mitzrayim, that in the time of Yoshua bin Nun, the Olim in Mitzrayim where they sat, which is what the Torah tells us in Parashat Mas'ei. The borders, Mikadesh and Sinai, Ve'avar HaGvul, Petra, וכולי, all those in Bamidbar Lamidalet, that's Olei Mitzrayim, which Shemitah laws apply, but not all of them. Tzfichin doesn't apply, and other things as well. And the wider borders, Shemitah laws do not apply at all. Gvulot HaAvtacha. Where does Olei Bavel, where is Olei Mitzrayim, and where is Gvulot HaAvtacha? That, as I assume you guess, is a major discussion among the poskim. To make a long story short, what's read here, most of Israel is Olei Bavel, and all of the Shemitah laws apply. The left side here, where it says the triangle, Ashkelon, Gaza, Nitzana, where Gush Katif was, and the Otef Aza, and the Western Negev, that's according to most poskim is Olei Mitzrayim. Tzfichin don't apply, so it's a lower level. It's easier there to rely on Heiter Mechirah, even if you generally don't, because it's a lower level. That's Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach's psak. And under what's called Nachal Tzin, Sde Boker, the Dead Sea and down, that's a discussion. But that's Eida Charedit. If you can see this line here, takes the line that it starts. Can you see my mouse here?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So this line, Badat Tzedach Haredit, thinks this line is the line for Shemitah. Meaning under this, Shemitah laws don't apply at all. That's what they think. They allow farmers here in what's called Aravat Tzfonit and Tichona and Dromit. They allow farmers there to grow and to, without Heter Mechirah, and to sell as Mehadrin, and they call it Arava, or they call it even Chutz La'aretz. That's Badat Tzedach Haredit. Rav Efrati and Osherad and Rav Elioshiv, they take this line at the bottom. Only Arava Dromit, what's called Kav Shloshim, the Moshav Lotan, about 55 kilometers north of Eilat. They think only this small part is what's called Gvulot HaAvtacha, and that the Shemitah laws don't apply there at all. And that's Rav Efrati. And we think that in our institute, Mechon Torah Ve'aretz, that till Eilat is still Olei Mitzrayim, meaning we are more machmir, and that's why we allow from there only with Heter Mechirah, because without it, Olei Mitzrayim, and still some of the Shemitah laws apply. Did I answer you? This is a subject for an hour shiur, only this, but did I answer you?
Yes. Can I ask just about Akko, Northern Akko? Is that Eretz Israel?
Oh, long discussion. Practically, we are machmir that it is, because the Mishnah says, Retzua yotzet me'Akko as Kziv. It's not so clear how narrow is it and till where. So practically, we consider it all Olei Bavel Eretz Israel. Even though you're right, the Mishnah, there are discussions about it. You're right.
Ta-da.
Okay, I'm going back to our Heter Mechirah. Where are we? Yes. Authorization form for farmer and land laws. This is what the farmers signed. The farmers signed Heter Mechirah, and they allow the Rabbanut Harashit in their name to sell or lease the land to whoever wants, and it's approved halachically, and this form and approved legally. If you'll see, it's for 2 years. The Mechirah is for 2 years, from the beginning of Tishrei till the end of Elul Tafshin Pei Gimel, meaning for 2 years. Usually, after a year, they buy it back, but you sell it for 2 years. And that's the Heiter Mechirah. Let's skip this for a minute. And let's see this. You see, this is the Hilliger Goy, the Goy Kadosh. His name is Wesley Schmidt. And he is the Goy that the Rabbanut Harashi decided to sell him a lot, around more than 2 million dunam of land in Eretz Israel. And the Rabbanut, he accepted Sheva Mitzvot Bnei Noach in front of the Beit Din. And you see here Minister Ze'ev Elkin, which is Sarah Binui VaShikun, and Reshut Mekarkei Israel, that is in charge of all the lands of Eretz Israel, and Rav Yaakov Ariel, and other rabbis here from the Rabbanut Harashit Israel. And this was the selling the land of all the farmers to this Goy, and that was done. If you didn't do it on time, you can still do it afterwards, but the Rabbanut wanted everybody to do it in advance. I don't know if people know that the land in Eretz Israel is owned mainly by the government. 93% of the land in Eretz Israel is owned by Israel Land Authority, what's called the Remi, Reshut Mekarkei Israel, and they are officially the Be'alim on it. They lease it to people. They lease it to farmers, but almost all the farming, the land that's used for farming of Jews and non-Jews, almost everything is owned by Medinat Israel, Reshut Mekarkei Israel, and then they lease it to farmers. So when you have a selling, you have to do a double selling. The farmer that leases it and he's in charge of it now, he needs to sell, and the government, the Reshut Mekarkei Israel, they need to sell as well. And if to make it a bit more complex, if it wasn't complex enough, sometimes the government gave a seal for a farmer for 49 years or 99 years, and then he's the owner, and he leases it to other people, to the farmer that works there. So you have 3 steps you have to make sure they sell. The government is easy. The farmer that he wants a certificate from the Rabbanut, he signs, but you need also his I don't know, boss, but the person that seals it to him, that leases it to him, he needs to sign as well, because he got it from the government and he gives it to somebody else. So it's complicated. The Rabbanut had a lot of work every Shemitah to do it, and that's what they did. I want to jump to the government. The government gives money if you decide to keep Shemitah. If the state supports farmers. If the farmer comes to the government and say, listen, my vineyard, I'm not going to go in it this year. I won't have grapes. I won't work there. I won't have anything. Or I have vegetables. I'm not going to plant during Shemitah. Or grains, I'm not going to plant. Or nursery, I'm not going to work this year. So the government says, you know what? Okay, if you did it in advance, you will put money in like a saving fund, like what's called a keren, not a keren ishtalmut. And on each shekel you will put in, we will give you 4 shekel. On every shekel you will put in, we will give you 4 shekel. And it depends what kind, of course. They have 18 million shekel to give. Almost 7 for nurseries, 5 for vineyards, another 6 for others. And if you have a vineyard and 1 shekel you give, they give you 4 shekel. And other things, 1 shekel you give, they give you 2 shekel. Depends. If it's nurseries, 3 shekel. Meaning the government gives money to farmers that want to keep Shemitah. I think this is a very important thing. When many people say today the government is anti-Jewish and anti-religion and does things against religion, etc., etc., maybe, But if we're talking about Shemitah, the government gives money from the taxes of all of us, including people that are anti-religious, and they give money, the government gives money to people that decide to keep Shemitah and not work in their land. I think it's a very, very important thing. Just a second, somebody raised his hand, just a minute. And I saw even in Haaretz newspaper, there were a few journalists that were very upset. How come my government, for my taxes, give money to these, how do they call them? These lazy farmers. They want to sit 1 year at home, not to work, and they want to get money. Mazel. Yes, I'm very happy. The government gives money for Shemitah. Yes, who had a hand? JS. Jacobs, you had a question? No. Okay. Keeping on. But the government gives money, but it's not enough. There are all kinds of organizations. One of them is Keren HaShvi'it, that they raised money to help those farmers, meaning if the government gave, if the farmer put aside in advance, if he was serious, some money, and the government gave him some more money, but it's not enough. So Keren HaShvi'it, it's a Haredi organization that they ask people to donate in Israel and abroad as well. And they give this money to farmers, meaning they come to the farmer and the farmer tells them, listen, I'm going to do Heiter Mechirah because, my parnasa. If I'll get, I don't know, 500,000 shekel, so okay, that's what I was going to earn, so I'll do it. Now you have to understand, a farmer has expenses. When he leases the land, he has expenses. Even if he has trees, he still has to water them. Even if he has a land there, he has workers. He needs to do something with them. He has tractors. He has things. He took an advanced loan for 10 years, knowing that every year he will pay back. A Shemitah year, he still needs to pay back his loans. So it's not that you're saying, okay, a farmer doesn't have any expenses, so go work in high-tech or go work in the supermarket. No, he still has expenses. So he tells the farmers, listen, this is my expenses. If you will help me, Keren HaShvi'it, I will do it. And then they say they help, and they say they, because of them, many farmers are keeping Shemitah, meaning not planting and not doing anything in the land. Again, I don't know the numbers. What I don't like so much, which is something I'm going to say, something maybe not so conventional, maybe some people will be upset at me, buying 4 amot in Eretz Israel. You had a few organizations selling you 4 amot in Eretz Israel, and then you're doing Shemitah in this, you're doing Shemitah, and then you're fulfilling the mitzvah of Shabbat Shabbat LaHashem, and you will get a blessing, etc. If you ask me, not only me, Rav Moshe said the same. He doesn't like it, meaning he doesn't like this trick in order to kivyachol that you fulfill the mitzvah. It depends. Where does the money go to? If you donate the money for farmers to help them to keep Shemitah, okay, that's a good thing. But if the money goes to an organization that makes money from selling you the land for a more to keep on it Shemitah, Rav Moshe doesn't think that's a real fulfillment of mitzvah Shemitah. But if it's to help farmers, so that's something else. Okay. This we did. Okay, I want now to jump to Otzar Beit. Otzar Beit. Otzar Beit. What Otzar? So Otzar Beit, as I said before, the Beit comes to the farmer before Shemitah, tells them, let's work together. You will do in the land only what we tell you. Only melachot derabanan, leuk meilana, to maintain the plant, or maybe leuk Mechirah, to maintain the fruit, but not to increase the growth, not to increase the yield, only what the rabbis allow you. You want to do something in the field, you'll have to ask the rabbis if it's allowed or not. we will tell you what the price is, meaning we will pay you in advance. We will pay you as our shaliach, and we will pay you a fixed sum, or we will discuss together in advance how much money it costs you, your expenses. You're not going to earn, just your expenses. The farmer has the expenses, and then you have the retailer, the what's called kimonai, and then you have the sitonai, the shop that sells it, and then the price for the customer is this plus this plus this. You pay the farmer his expenses. You pay the trucks and the system in the middle, and you have to pay the shop and a bit for the Beit Din, and that's the price. The price is fixed by Beit Din. If a shop wants to raise the price and get a lot of money because there's a demand, he's not allowed to do it. That's chura. He's allowed only the price fixed by Beit Din, and that's Otzar Beit Din. Who has Otzar Beit Din in Eretz Israel today? So there are a few Otzarot Beit Din. If we're talking about vegetables, there's only two. Our Otzar Beit Din, Otzar Haaretz, or Mechon Torah V'Haaretz. I'll discuss it in a minute. There's another, if somebody is in Gush Etzion has their own Otzar Beit Din, Rabbanei Gush Etzion, and they're selling in Rami Levi. Rami Levi in Gush Etzion, and in Shar Binyamin as well. It has vegetables and the future fruit of Otzar Beit Din, Rabbanei Gush Etzion, and they tell Rami Levi what is the highest price. What is the highest price we can take? Yes, and how much he needs to pay the farmers, and it's Kadosh B'Kedushat Shvit. Osher Ad, Rav Efrati, it has Otzar Beit Din. Rav Efrati is a Talmid of Rav Elyoshiv and the Chazon Ish were very pro Otzar Beit Din. They thought that is the way that farmers in Israel can keep on going and have parnasa while keeping Shemitah, Otzar Beit Din. But it's not a solution for everything. Otzar Beit Din is very good for fruit. So fruit, starting from around Pesach time, the fruit would start being Otzar Beit Din in Rav Efrati stores, which is mainly Osher Ad. You will see Otzar Beit Din in Osher Ad and other shops of Rav Efrati. As well, Rav Revach has a small Otzar Beit Din. Rav Karelis I'll discuss in a minute. But Rav Efrati doesn't do Otzar Beit Din for vegetables, while us in Otzar Haaretz we do. There's a discussion about Otzar Beit Din for vegetables, the Rambam Shita, but they don't do vegetables in Osher Ad, only bananas because of perennials. But now if you go to Osher Ad, you will have bananas Kedushat Shvit. And the countrywide company that sells Kedushat Shvit Otzar Beit Din vegetables is Otzar Haaretz. Otzar Haaretz was started by Mechon Torah V'Haaretz, my institute, our institute, Tzvi Shmitot ago. Baruch Hashem, this Shemitah, they have around 130, even more shops around Israel. In Yerushalayim only, they have like 6, 7. They have two companies that do deliveries, once a week deliveries to your house. And you have around 100 yeshivot, midrashot, that take Otzar Haaretz, high school, yeshiva high schools, ulpenot, etc. that take it. And the IDF Tzahal takes Otzar Beit Din as well from Otzar Haaretz. And there's one more Beit Din, which is Rav Karelitz, that does Otzar Beit Din. He will do Otzar Beit Din for fruit. And it's very interesting. There's a Jew from the US, Dr. Avi Bergman or Ari Bergman, that they are fundraising and they're collecting about 10 million shekel in order to fund Otzar Beit Din, this Shemitah for the Haredi communities. They came to Yeshivat Mir and Ponovich and other yeshivot and told them, listen, we are going to subsidize fruit that you will get fruit for 1 shekel a kilo. 1 shekel a kilo. peaches, nectarines, I don't know, whatever, apple, whatever. Very, 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 very cheap. But it's Kedushat Shvit, it's Otzar Beit Din. Do you want it or not? So many of them do. And this organization, Shnat Sheva, working with Rav Karelitz. This is very interesting. That in order to, this is mainly to the Haredi, crowd, to put in Otzar Beit Din Kedushat Shvit fruit into the Haredi crowd, because in the Haredim, many of them are afraid of Kedushat Shvit. They don't want, even though most of the rabbis are pro. So that's another Beit Din of Rav Karelitz. Okay, now I want to talk a bit about Otzar Haaretz. Why did I bring this? Look at this. Grape juice. Lo mishnat shmita, not from Shemitah year. Okay, I understand this grape is not from Shemitah year. Good, understood. Oh, no. They have to add lelo chashash, no concern, of tevel, orla, and shvit. Lelo chashash shvit. Why do you have to write me lelo chashash shvit? You just wrote under it, it's not from Shemitah year. If it's not from Shemitah year, it's of course lelo chashash shvit. That's one. Second, what do you mean lelo chashash shvit? Shvit is not a chashash. Otzar Beit Din grape juice is a mitzvah according to many rabbis. It's a positive thing. It's keeping Shemitah. You're growing in a way that is a Shemitah approved. Why are you calling it Lelo Chashash Shvi'it? We think in our institute, and I think this is a mamash a bizayon for Shemitah. Shemitah Shvit is not a chashash. It's a mitzvah. We have to know what to do. Not everything is allowed, just like Shabbat. But you wouldn't say Lelo Chashash Shabbat. You wouldn't say, nobody will say this vegetables are Lelo Chashash Shabbat. Why? Because Shabbat is a positive thing. You can say Lelo Chashash Isurei Shabbat, Lelo Chashash Chilul Shabbat, Lelo Chashash Shabbat. So why Shvit you say that Lelo Chashash Shvit? You can add Lelo Chashash Isurei Shvit, Avodah Asura Vashvit. Lelo Chashash Shvit, what people learn from it in the subtext is that Shvit is something bad, is something negative, and we have to run away from it and to try not to deal with it at all, and that's something I am against. Otzar Haaretz. So Otzar Haaretz are selling mainly Otzar Beit Din items, and this is their website. However, you don't have Otzar Beit Din produce all the year. Why is that? Because Otzar Beit Din for fruit, let's say, is only from the summer. Now it's fruit that halachli are from the 6th year produce, shishit. Okay, that's mehadrin, fruit from the 6th year. It's fine. So all the fruit in Otzar Haaretz shop are still 6th year. The vegetables, the hard vegetables, potatoes, carrots, onion, garlic, pumpkin, squash, all of these are still delori. All of these are still from shishi. Otzar, it's put storage, a long-term storage in a special way that will last for a long time, so we can have shishit, and which is fine according to all opinions. Vegetables you have at the beginning of the year, but you don't have vegetables till the end of the year. If some of you are shopping in Otzar Haaretz shops, they know that a week ago, the cucumbers are finished. They had cucumbers Kedushat Shvi'it, and they are finished. Here you see from the website, the English website, you have every week the items that are Otzar Beit Din, and the maximum price that you will see in the shop. And this has to be the maximum price of the Otzar Beit Din produce. It can't be higher, and if yes, so take a picture and send me a WhatsApp or an email to complain. It's not supposed to be. These are the items. Cucumbers, as I said, finished last week. Why? White tomatoes, yes. Pepper, yes. Eggplant, yes. And cucumbers, no. Because cucumbers that were planted before Shemitah, they die after around 3 months. So they have no more. You planted before Shemitah. You're not allowed to plant Shemitah on Shemitah, of course. You planted before Shemitah. The farmer only gave them water, that they will grow. And after 3 months, that's it. No more cucumbers. Tomatoes, they can be for half a year. They can go for half a year. The same tomatoes that you planted, so you put the seed in the ground, they give you tomatoes for months, till around March, I think. They're supposed to have tomatoes. Eggplants as well. Zucchini, kishu, it ended this week. Carrots started only lately. Carrots and sweet potatoes are new in the Otzar Beit market. Carrots and sweet potatoes are new. I didn't buy it yet. They started only next week. And it's new because they were planted before Shemitah, but the seasons, etc., they were picked now. So Otzar Haaretz, the places they take from are either Otzar Beitin, second from 60, and the third thing is Olei Mitzrayim. Olei Mitzrayim is, as I discussed before, on the left side here, the western Negev. And what's under the Dead Sea, Nachal Sin, according to our psak, is Olei Mitzrayim. Olei Mitzrayim is Sfichin doesn't apply, meaning if there's no special decree of Chazal for vegetables that were planted there on Shemitah. Reb Shlomo Zalman Oirach was paskin that even if you're machmir with Heiter Mechirah, if it's Heiter Mechirah in Olei Mitzrayim borders, that's fine even for the machmirim. Meaning even if you're mehadrin, even if you don't, you don't rely on Heiter Mechirah, okay, that's Olei Bavel. But Olei Mitzrayim, for the consumer, it's fine to rely on the Heiter Mechirah with Olei Mitzrayim, and that's our psak. And all the vegetables that are not Otzar Beit, not from Shishit, they are from Olei Mitzrayim. Meaning the cucumber now are Olei Mitzrayim. They were planted in Shemitah in Olei Mitzrayim areas, the Arava, Western Negev, and other items as well. What did they have? They had strawberries. They had now kohlrabi and fennel, shumar, and other things that are Olei Mitzrayim. This is the list of the shops on the website. You can see all the shops if you want to see the shop next to you. I want to say a word about Chasalat. I was connected to Chasalat company. Chasalat is the biggest insect-free leafy vegetables. They have 4 different colors to the labels. If you buy Chasalat produce, so it depends what shop you buy. You have the brown one on the right, which is Eida Charedit. You have the orange one, the left one, which is Rabbi, and you have the red one, which is Otzar Haaretz. The Zionist rabbi are Otzar Haaretz that they grow in Olei Mitzrayim, as I discussed before. Olei Mitzrayim, Western Negev, and Arava. No Kedushat Shvit. No Kedushat Shvit, according to most opinions, in Otzar Haaretz Olei Mitzrayim. That's the red bag. The brown bag is Eida Charedit. That's grown in the Arava Tichona, in a place that they, according to them, it's outside of Eretz Yisrael for Shemitah. And the orange is Yevul Nochi. It's a Jewish farm which is on an Arab land next to Beer Sheva. The Jewish farmer is leasing it from a Bedouin. And on Shemitah, the Jewish farmer goes to a yeshiva, Yeshivat Otniel, for a Shabbaton, and he lets other people, and a goy comes and runs the business. So we call it Yevul Nochi Light. Yevul Nochi Light. Because the land is owned by a non-Jew, and all years. The Baal Bayit, the manager on Shemitah, is a non-Jew, but the workers there are Jewish, so that's Heter Yevul Nochi Light. And they have as well Arava Dromit, southern Arava, for Rav Efrati, as I told you, next to Eilat, and Yevul Shishit cabbage, which was stored. Just to we have to finish. So these are the musagim, the names of the things you will see. Otzar Beitin we discussed, Heiter Mechirah we discussed, Yevul Shishit discussed, Olei Mitzrayim, Arava Dromit, as I said, only Rav Efrati, Arava Tzfonit, only Badat Tzedach Haredit, Matzah Menutak, Yevul Chul, sometimes you will see it as Yud Chet. Yud Chet, it means Yevul Chul, import from other countries. Yevul Nochi Yud Nun, it's a non-Jew going in Eretz Israel. Shmita Lechumra, usually when it's written, Shmita Lechumra, it means no Heter Mechirah, and usually no Kedushat Shvit, no Otzar Beit, usually. Shmita Lechumra is no Heter Mechirah, and usually no Otzar Beitin, and Shmita Israelit is us, Otzar Aretz, that we take only from Jewish farmers, either Shishit, Matzah Menutak, Otzar Beidin, or Olei Mitzrayim, and besides one item. There's one item, even Otzar Haaretz, they don't have Israeli, which is garlic. Shum. Garlic in the packages. All the garlic in Israel, all the year, every year is imported from China, from Italy. So that there is no Israeli garlic like bag, only like open, like you see in the markets, but that's something else. So that's the only item which is not from Jews. So we in Otzar Haaretz we say, you buy from us, you know it's 100% Jewish farmers that are growing according to halacha, and we are helping them, and not, from the one hand, not relying on Heter Mechirah. Whoever wants to buy Heter Mechirah, fine, but it's not relying on Heter Mechirah. And on the other hand, not buying from non-Jews, Arabs in Israel, which can be from Judah and Samaria, can be Israeli Arabs, or can be from Gaza. And I'll just this Matzah Menutak. I'll just finish with one of the farmers here is connected someone to a farmer in Gaza from the time of Gush Katif. So the farmer from Gaza told his acquaintance, the Israeli farmer, told him, listen, the Shemitah year that you have, can you ask the rabbis to do Shemitah every second year? He said, what? He said, listen, and Shemitah year here in Gaza, we have Parnasa for, give us Parnasa for 3 years. We go so much, Baruch Hashem, we have customers, the Jews buy. Tell them, please, if they can do it every second year and not every 7th year, so we will have more money. Which, again, I'm not saying anything good or bad, just to know that by buying Yevul Nochri, it means that we buy more from Gaza, from Hebron, from Shechem, from Kalkilia, and from Israeli Arabs as well that grow. What's called Shemitah Lechuma, and each person should think what he thinks, what values of Shemitah, Kashrut, and values, other values around it, what should he consume? As I said, we think Otzar Haaretz is for us, that's the ideal solution. There are other solutions. People think Heter Mechirah is good. People think Yevul Nochi is good. Fine, each person will do as he thinks. But I wanted to tell you what I have, and I'll just finish. We have a WhatsApp group. Every day we have a WhatsApp update. Sometimes it's a question about gardening, about Kedushat Shvit in the kitchen, about buying fruits and vegetables, about Kedushat Shvit, film, short films. So whoever wants to join, we have 5 groups that are already full, 1,000 people. Every day we send something, and I want to thank you very much. Questions?
Yeah, I have one question. When the cucumber comes off your list, the price that then can be charged is basically the market price.
Correct. If it says on Otzar Haaretz shop, it says each item. Is right. It? But this is very important. Thank you. The logo is Otzar Haaretz, but Otzar Haaretz is a company that doesn't say anything. Next to it, it says what is it? Is it Otzar Beidin? Is it Olei Mitzrayim? Is it Shishit? Thank you very much. I have it here. Here it's Otzar Haaretz, Kedushat Shvit. It has Kedushat Otzar Beidin. The price is fixed. But this אוצר הארץ, עולי מצרים, no קדושת שביעית, the price can be market price, whatever you want, can be higher. And יבול שישית, of course, the same, market price. So sometimes people complain, what? We saw Otzar Beit and you took, I don't know, 10 shekels a kilo for eggplant. I told them, you're sure it's Otzar Beit? Yes. I told them, go back, take a picture. And they took a picture and I saw it says on it, this, Olei Mitzrayim. So then I told them, listen, you have to check the sign. Yes. Any more questions?
Okay, I know you've talked about this before, but the hydroponic grown vegetables, are they subject to Shemitah or not?
Indoors, no, for sure. Hydroponic indoors, no.
No.
Outdoors, if it's not under a roof and it's not, there's no something above the ground, between them and the ground, because hydroponic, they always go, they have like this channel, but it always goes as well on the sides of it. So I think, so according to our psak, you should be, it's not considered 100% matzah menutak unless it's indoors.
Okay.
Did I answer you?
Yes.
This is a matzah menutak nursery in greenhouse, research one in our institute that we take tours, kids, we show them what matzah menutak is here in our institute. Any more questions? So thank you very much. Again, I'm sorry about the delay. We had to cut a few things. Maybe next time. And any Shemitah questions, halachic questions, practical questions, I write as well on Torah Tidbits, our website, and people, of course, can contact me or us directly. Thank you very much. Emmanuel, I'm finishing.
Mazal tov on your new appointment.
Thank you.